Hi, my name's Melanie Haywood. I'm a clerk at both the East and West Irondequoit branches of the Irondequoit Public Library. I'd like to thank you guys for your time in coming out here tonight, as well as congratulate you on the success of the referendum that was passed on April 23rd to build a centrally located branch of the Irondequoit Public Library. I'm also here today to give you a proposal about a workers' information committee that would be staffed by members of the Irondequoit Public Library staff as well as members of the Friends of the Irondequoit Public Library. Just to give you guys a little background and an introduction as to why I think that this committee is necessary, there was a recent proposal for a centrally located branch, as you guys know, the referendum that was passed, but a small group of dissenters led by a man named Richard Barone halted the progress in moving forward with that. The presentation that I've come up with is basically just an outline for the committee and what the plans would be to share the truth about the library and counteract Mr. Barone's effects on the proposal that we have and the referendum that's going to be occurring in December. Again, a little further background on this. April 23rd, there was a vote, and Mr. Barone got a group of 7 Irondequoit residents who live near the town hall campus, which is where the new library will be built. And they said that the SECRA, which is the environmental testing, was not filled out properly, and thus brought a lawsuit against the town claiming that we did not fully do the testing that we needed for this referendum to be a worthwhile barometer of whether or not the community wanted this library. Ultimately, the lawsuit was dropped because we came to the conclusion that it was likely that Mr. Barone would win, as we didn't do the entire test. We only did a short form of it, but after completing the entire test, we did find that we did pass in the end. But as a result of this, Mr. Barone did get a chance to get 1,000 signatures, and once he got his 1,000 signatures, the referendum would be forced to be redone. Now, oftentimes, when this sort of situation arises, I would say, okay, the guy got his signatures. But the issue with this is that Mr. Barone is known for being intimidating and flat out misinforming the people with whom he speaks. Even the first 7 people who were a part of the motion to bring about the lawsuit, one of them is an immediate family member of mine, and I had a conversation with her and said, why would you sign something like that? This new library is vital for the community. And she admitted to me that she didn't really fully understand what it was that she was filling out. Because of this, I think that it's necessary that the people who are closest to this issue, which would be the library workers themselves, as we're in these buildings every day and we see the problems with them, I think it's necessary that we are the people who can tell the residents why we need this new library, the effects that it's going to have on the town, and basically just make sure that any sort of misinformation that Mr. Barone and his people are sharing is being combated with the truth. Examples of some of the lies that Mr. Barone tells are that we could build the new library at a branch that would be placed in a building that already exists, for example, the Medley Center, which, though I do agree as an Irondequoit resident that it should be used for something, the town hall campus is the optimal location for this new branch, as it doesn't have to be on the tax rolls for the residents, and even though we would be building new, it's still going to save us money because we don't have to worry about leasing the land. And one of the biggest issues that we faced when we did suggest that the Medley Center be a possible location was that it's too far into East Irondequoit, and many of the West Irondequoit voters would not support that decision, as they want something that's also located near West Irondequoit so they wouldn't have to travel as far. I do think that this proposal would be accepted by many of the workers of the library as well as the Friends. It's sort of counterintuitive that the people who are closest to this issue would not be able to speak openly about the impact that Mr. Barone and his friends, including Robert Amon, are having on the library. Basically, these groups of people who oppose this new branch are spreading misinformation that we at the library are not able to stop. And despite that, we have people coming in every single day asking us, why was there a lawsuit? Or why is this new branch such a bad idea in these people's eyes? We're not allowed to mention them. We can't say who they are by name. We can only give the people the facts and hope that when these aggressive misinformers cross their paths, that they choose to believe the people who are giving them the actual facts instead of lying to their faces and smiling while they do it. As far as staffing is concerned, I do think that it would be fairly easy to staff this committee, as there are over 30 librarians and clerks in the library alone, and the Friends of the Library are already volunteering their time. So if we could get even just 6 of the staff members to join this committee, that would be enough to go from door to door or attend town meetings and get togethers that would have members of the public coming and going. And we would be able to have an outreach and speak to the members of the community about why it's a good idea to vote yes for the new library and how they have possibly been lied to by those who say that it's a bad idea to approve this new branch. I think that the easiest way for this idea to be introduced to the workers is to A, mention it at the Monday, November 11th meeting that's on Veterans Day for the librarians and clerks, and then B, to post it on the e-portal, which you guys know that we use very frequently to speak to each other and share ideas. And for the Friends of the Library, I do think that we should give Anne Ryan some handouts and she can share them with the friends. Moving forward, I do think that we should set up separate dates. I'm going to post a schedule that you guys can read through quickly that says different times that we can set up to go door to door to give information to residents of Irondequoit. And then a couple of the dates on this schedule are just basically community get-togethers that we could set up a camp at, and as people walked by enjoying their day, we could also just give them small amounts of information and talk to them about why this new branch is a good idea. I think especially that the town hall campus, the holiday tree lighting that we have there, would be an excellent opportunity for us to talk to the patrons and the residents about why the library should be at the town hall campus. This is simplest because we are going to be right there. We can point out where things are and how we'll be able to use the space to accommodate this new library. Moving on to the budget, since this is volunteer run, we're hoping that the budget maintains a relatively low number. Essentially, the only things that we would be spending money on are paper products to print out informational pamphlets and booking these events like the town hall Christmas tree lighting. And there's a possibility that people might want to be compensated for gas, which, as we do every year, we offer people the compensation for gas, and most people don't accept it. But if they do ask for the compensation, it will be up to $50 a person. We're hoping that the maximum total for the budget will not exceed $1,450, which I do think is reasonable, especially compared to the amount that would be put into this brand new branch. I do think that it's a drop in a bucket. I do believe that the limits that have been placed upon the workers at the library I do believe that the limits that have been placed upon the workers at the library have seriously impeded our ability to share information with the public and garner support for this new branch, as the people are being misinformed and we're not allowed to share with them that information. I think that if the people know how they've been lied to, then they will want to support this new branch. Are there any questions about my proposal? Yes.
Why do we need a committee when we can talk about these things at the library?
The reason for this committee is that we are not allowed to speak freely when we're working. Though it makes the most sense to have informational discussions about the library at the library with the patrons who will most likely be voting as they're using these branches, unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be an option right now, as we do have to worry about any sort of lawsuit coming about claiming that we might be slandering Mr. Barone or saying that we're misinforming the people when really it's him who's doing that exact thing. I do understand why it might seem a little strange to have a committee about library issues that is made up of library workers but does not take place inside of the library, but it is a necessity. Are there any other questions?
How long will this committee be in effect?
Hopefully the committee will be together until December 14th when the next referendum is. If we do need to go on after that, I can speak for myself when I say that I would be more than willing to stay a part of this committee. And I'd imagine that many of my coworkers would feel the same as well, because we really do want this new branch and we'll do anything in our power to continue moving forward with it. Anything else? No? Alright. Once again, thank you for your time. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.